Welcome to today's video. We all know that masturbation is a natural physiological behavior, but is there a limit we should be aware of? What happens if this habit gets out of control and turns into an addiction? Have you ever wondered how much is enough and when it's time to stop? These questions are not only important but also closely related to our mental and physical health. Today, we'll dive into this topic to explore more deeply the real effects that masturbation can have from both a scientific and philosophical perspective. We'll examine what happens to the brain when this habit becomes too frequent. And specifically, Stoicism, a classical philosophy of life, will offer us valuable lessons about self-control and willpower in modern life. You might be surprised to learn that this seemingly harmless habit can weaken decision-making abilities, affect focus, and even cause a loss of self-control, key elements that help us grow in every aspect of life. Imagine that each time you indulge in this behavior, not only is your energy drained, but your ability to take charge of your life gradually diminishes. Stoicism will help us gain a clearer understanding of the power of self-discipline, allowing us to avoid temptations and find inner peace. Before we begin, I'd be thrilled if you could hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any valuable insights in future videos. Now, let's explore this topic with both depth and practicality to better understand the impact of this habit and how we can overcome it. Ready? Let's dive in. Modern medicine has made it clear that masturbation is a completely normal behavior, not just for humans, but also observed in many other mammals, such as dogs. However, this wasn't always the case. In the past, masturbation was seen as immoral, particularly for men, as there was a fear that losing semen would hinder their fertility. For women, ancient societies believed that masturbation could alienate them from men because they could find pleasure on their own without needing anyone else. Aside from moral concerns, masturbation was also linked to physical consequences, as it was once believed to cause illness, making the practice highly discouraged. However, times have changed, and we now have a different perspective on masturbation. Particularly for men with sleep issues, many studies suggest that masturbation can help facilitate sleep. According to the French Institute of Health and Medical Research, after orgasm, the male brain halts sexual desire and enters a state of rest. The cortex, the area responsible for conscious thought, takes a break, leading to a cessation of sexual desire and making it easier to fall asleep. This explains why many men tend to fall asleep immediately after sexual activity. But is that the whole truth? Hidden behind this apparent benefit is a potential trap that not everyone realizes. If you've been following this channel regularly, you probably know what I'm referring to. Let's explore further the potential pitfalls of this behavior and the deeper consequences we may not yet fully understand. Masturbation triggers the release of dopamine in the brain, a hormone that plays a key role in generating feelings of pleasure, calm, and stress relief. This is why the behavior can lead many people to fall into addiction. In 2017, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders introduced a new concept called compulsive sexual behavior disorder. This not only classifies excessive masturbation under obsessive-compulsive disorders, but also highlights it as a harmful habit, leading to self-destruction and negatively impacting family and social relationships. When trapped in this cycle, you lose control over yourself, becoming a slave to the craving for pleasure. The release of dopamine creates floods of pleasure in the brain, leading many people to engage in extreme behaviors in pursuit of satisfaction, such as seeking out prostitutes, engaging in promiscuous sex, or excessively consuming pornography. What's noteworthy is that a dopamine-saturated brain gradually becomes desensitized, requiring greater amounts of dopamine to achieve the same level of satisfaction. As a result, a person will continuously seek out masturbation to reach the same level of pleasure as the first time, but will never feel fully satisfied as expected. This creates a vicious cycle, as the brain blocks dopamine receptors to prevent excessive release. The result is that the person addicted to masturbation feels frustrated when they can't achieve the same pleasure as before, driving them deeper into the behavior. Excessive masturbation becomes akin to an addiction to alcohol, tobacco, or overeating, all aimed at satisfying a pleasure craving that can never truly be fulfilled. At this point, you might be wondering, what does Stoicism have to do with this? Great Stoic philosophers like Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus, pioneers of wisdom and self-control, viewed pleasure and desire from a profound and distinct perspective in their teachings. From the depth of Epictetus's insights to Seneca's philosophical reflections, they explored the nature of human passion, an aspect that continues to captivate us today. For the Stoics, behaviors like masturbation were not merely physical needs but opportunities to challenge and explore the limits of the mind and body. They saw it as a method of cultivating self-awareness, a path toward true freedom. In Stoic philosophy, conquering desires and pleasures is a manifestation of mental strength and a way to elevate the human spirit. Epictetus emphasized that it is not moments of pleasure but self-control that define the greatness of a person. In this context, understanding desire and the ability to restrain it distinguishes someone who has reached a higher level of awareness and resilience, rather than becoming a slave to desires. As Seneca's philosophy reminds us, one must learn to master them, thereby discovering deeper spiritual freedom. Stoicism, with its deep reflection on aspects of desire and control, does not stop at suppressing urges but opens the door to comprehensive understanding and mental autonomy. Masturbation, from this philosophical standpoint, is not simply about satisfying fleeting sensations, but an opportunity to explore oneself consciously and mindfully. What is important is not the act of satisfying desire, but the ability to recognize, understand, and control one's innermost tendencies. According to Stoic philosophers, every action carries consequences, not only for the individual but also for the natural order of the universe. When we allow ourselves to be governed by desires, especially the dependency on instant pleasures like uncontrolled masturbation, we gradually lose harmony with nature and the cosmic order, which the Stoics held in high regard. The result is that we become enslaved by our desires, distancing ourselves from inner peace and tranquility. Excessive indulgence in pleasure can create a whirlwind of negative emotions, where shame, guilt, and dissatisfaction become unwanted companions. The Stoics teach us that instead of letting emotions control us, we must practice self-awareness and self-regulation to manage these intense feelings. Through conscious reflection, we can learn to manage and build a healthier relationship with our emotions. Ultimately, true joy does not lie in the fulfillment of temporary desires but in self-mastery and the ability to find satisfaction in simple things tied to virtue and inner balance. Stoicism encourages us to seek peace within a state of existence that does not rely on external stimuli, leading to true freedom and serenity in life. Let me share with you a deeply personal and inspiring story. I once knew someone who struggled with excessive masturbation, seeking instant gratification but facing a storm of negative emotions afterward. In this repetitive cycle, feelings of emptiness and guilt seemed inescapable. However, when they turned to the teachings of Stoicism and practiced self-control, they underwent an inner revolution. They learned to face their desires with clarity and understanding, realizing that peace does not come from momentary satisfaction but from the ability to master oneself. Now they live with tranquility and authenticity, no longer a slave to fleeting sensations but instead focused on higher values. This story is not only a testament to the power of self-control but also a reminder that true happiness and fulfillment come from living according to our deepest principles and values. When we easily give in to short-term desires, we lose the opportunity to pursue greater goals that help us grow and develop. Excessive masturbation, like many other uncontrolled desires, can pull us away from the path toward true happiness and inner peace. Personally, I believe that long-lasting fulfillment can only be achieved when we stay committed to what truly matters in life. When you master yourself, you not only become a stronger person, but also find deep satisfaction in the simple things and solid values. Remember, life is not just about chasing instant pleasures, but a journey toward true happiness through self-control and steadfastness in living an ethical life.